All right, so I eventually got some of my pliers transferred from my Milwaukee box to here. And I do have quite a few more, but I definitely need, just like I was talking about the ratchet stuff, or just ratchets and wrenches. I do need a means to organize this stuff to make sure I can maximize the storage space, because having them lay down like that just eats up a lot of space, and I certainly don't want to waste space. You figure a box this big, if you're not keen on organizing, you're gonna lose a lot of space. So that is just kind of me wanting to lay stuff out. Because again, I do remember purchasing 2 of these. So these ones with this rubber on the inside, and what I use it for mainly, really I only need one, but what I use it for mainly is undoing oil caps. Whenever I do oil changes, just so I don't mar it up or anything, I just kind of undo it, because they're just notoriously tight after being sealed for, I don't know, 3 months. So that's what I use that for. It's kind of always come in handy. I use it every oil change. But yeah, I look at all the pliers, not all of them, some of them. And then I started moving my sockets. Actually, looking through the camera, this looks actually way cooler than it does in person. But I started moving some of my sockets over, and yeah, it's not all of them. This is just some of them, but I have them in here. Like these trays, I like them, but I don't necessarily think I'm gonna keep them, because again, I want to maximize space. So I do like the case, but right here is just a waste of space unless I'm gonna throw random stuff in there, like extensions and stuff. That looks kind of tacky to me. So I'm gonna go with some rails. Right, I've always heard good things about those Westland machine stuff. They're a little bit more expensive, but I guess if they're quality, then I'm willing to pay quality money for quality pieces of equipment. I've kind of realized that going cheap is not always the best, but at the same time, you definitely don't need to break the bank on tools, especially if you're not a professional mechanic. But I do go, what's the word I'm looking for? I do take the mid ground. I don't necessarily always take the high ground. Certainly avoid the low ground as far as like quality, but I've heard things about these X-Core that they're not the best. I personally haven't used them yet, but we'll see. But they're there. But I've heard people talk about these, that they're not the best. Laser tools. These, it's funny because you can hear these are pretty much the same, and you can hear how they sound. They're really cheap. Like these would spread in a heartbeat if you had to use them. Yeah, you can hear how the metal sounds. Really cheap. I regretted the moment I heard these. As soon as I unpackaged them, I should have returned them. And I think these are 2 different brands, if I'm not mistaken. I just don't remember. Chrome vanadium. But they're in here. So yeah, this is where I started my wrenches. I really like these. Again, laser tool. This is a low profile. So like this is a, grab one here, whatever size this is. This is a 16 millimeter 3/8 drive, low profile socket. And I really like this low profile set from Laser Tool. I got the 1/4 inch version. 1/4 inch version, and I got a 3/8 version, low profile. And it has definitely came in handy. In fact, when I was assembling my my hutch on this Icon toolbox, that's the one I used, the 3/8 to get in the little tight spot. All these Ingersoll Rand power sockets, what they call them, 19 millimeter. So I started with this one for the Honda crank bolt. And I think I've acquired all of them. They're kind of a unique niche socket, but I kind of wanted all of them. I think I might have all of them at this point. And then these multicolored ones back here are like your extended sockets. So I believe I use a 21 for my Tacoma, but I do like it. And then the red one is a 19 millimeter I use for the Honda Acura. And then I got the blue 1722. But yeah, I started organizing this box, and then as a result I have stuff on the floor, and then there's stuff scattered. This stuff was empty, but now it's all filled up as I'm trying to like organize stuff. But at least it's a start. Just kind of seeing how stuff plays out. One of the most, like I've realized, one of the most important things towards like working efficiently or just getting stuff done is having your tools lay out. So, you know, if I have to, if I go over to, I don't know, my box here, this is not very efficient. I got stuff thrown on stuff, and I guarantee you when I get to organizing this stuff, I'm gonna realize I have doubles, hopefully not triples, of some stuff. I doubt I do to that extent, but it's very inefficient. And to be honest, actually, when I look for an open-ended wrench, I typically come in here and dig through to find the one I want versus go to, you know, a different drawer that has them all organized in a case or something. So, but that's the goal, is to get all this stuff kind of laid out, and at least if I have to double up, make it double versus triple stack. But fortunately, you got limited space. You just got limited space. And then have like I do like this box because the drawers are longer. You know, like my Sonic screwdriver set that I've actually never used. But it'd be nice to have this stuff readily available. But the only reason I don't use them is because, well, I usually go in this box, not this one. I usually go in here and just grab one of these gear wrench, Ulsa, whatever random pry, trim tool, what have you. But this is where I typically go because it's more accessible. And this is where my plier stuff is. As you can see, I have quite a few more just hanging around. But yeah, the goal between all these toolboxes, this one, and then this one with the lockers and the top, the goal is to get all this stuff like neatly organized in a cohesive manner that makes sense. I'll have to relearn the stuff where they are, but at least I'll be able to use them. Like, I'll definitely want to come in here and try to explore some of these ratchets, see what works, see what doesn't work. And I'm pretty certain that I might give my kids this stuff to play with. This thing is just so clunky. I thought it was going to be a cool ratchet, but I do like the Cobra, but I thought it was going to be like this one. Like, this one is discontinued. This is the 3/8. And this is the 1/4 inch. I do like the 1/4 inch. But I can't find the 1/2 inch to this one. I probably get the 1/2 inch just as a collectible item, but I imagine it'll be pretty bulky. So yeah, like this layout, I'm happy with this layout as is. This is what I want my toolbox to look like. And honestly, if I had space, I would definitely get another 72 and a 72 top. A hutch is a little bit of a waste of space. It's good just for, you know, to work on, write on, just, you know, somewhere that you can keep like clutter free. But it's definitely, I mean, all that space is unusable unless you're gonna have it all cluttered like I have it right now in a transition period. But that's basically unusable. Unless you're just gonna stack like cases in there. That would be one option, but then you have to like dig for them anyway. So I did want to go with this. Like I knew the pros and cons, but it was a cleaner look. And like I said, if I do get another box, I doubt I'll be able to fit a 72 or whatever this is, maybe a 56 or something like that, a smaller one. We'll go with that and just go with the top and the bottom. I don't know if I'll have space. But yeah, the garage, this is the garage. I mean, look at how thick that is. I had to get the floor level. Yeah, the floor was really wonky in here. I'm not sure why it was so, but it was so. That's why I got to get that door adjusted. But it will be. Oh, so here's. So this happened before the stuff was grouted. It cracked. As I was like moving around my box, I was like moving around stuff in here, you know, as I was like working from one side to the next, and I cracked it, and I was like, ah, damn, do I take it out? And honestly, looking back, maybe I should have just like, you know, it would have been easier to just break it up and remove it and then chip it down to kind of a level surface, and then, you know, insert a new tile in here. But I was like, yeah, I can just put this in. So I just kind of put it in there and get it off. It's actually not quite flush on this side, but it works. I mean, I've driven my car in here. I mean, I've parked both cars in here without issue. It's just they're outside right now because I was washing. You can see I need to clean the floor up. And this is why I need to seal the floor, because all that soap and stuff from washing. But I'm gonna probably mop the floor tomorrow, get some of this haze off, and keep working at the hazy stuff. And then I can start sealing the center. I'll seal the center, and then I'll bring all this stuff back in the center, which is gonna look like a mess again. And then seal the outside. And hopefully by then, when the stuff is in the center, I'm ready to paint the walls, and I can just paint them. I mean, I already have the paint, it's just freaking finding the time to do stuff. I got my Ryobi little pressure washer here. Thing works pretty decent. Sometimes it just cycles on and off. Especially I had an extra hose attached to this one, the original hose, and it would leak, and it would trigger it to cycle. But that's my my Ryobi 1800 PSI pressure 1.2 gallon pressure washer. And then below that, one of my Bosch vacuums. I have the larger one to this, and what I'm going to try to do is kind of wire them in series, as far as, or in parallel or series, I'm not sure, and see if that kind of combines the suction. But I really like, I mean, this type of vacuum is meant more for like dust, because it has a HEPA filter, which I actually just took out the bag because it was filled up. I use it a lot when I was working on the floor in here, like cleaning up dust and stuff, and in the house. So I really like this vacuum. And then it has the attachment there, the sprinkler stuff. On top, I got my Tacoma manuals. And then in here, I just have a couple cases that this doesn't even reflect half the tool cases I have, but I just threw them in there. It's kind of dark, I know. And these are the Quick Jack blocks. So that's cool. Like convenient place to store them, a couple funnels. But yeah, this is all temporary. Half of that stuff doesn't have anything in there. Like I don't have anything in any of these nook and crannies. There's that. And then here's my my steam cleaner. Great for, like, I said I was gonna do a review on this thing, but I really haven't gotten to it. I actually just used it this past weekend to clean my Tacoma. The only complaint I have with this thing is the handle is a bit bulky. Like, it doesn't really allow you to get into small places. It's pretty bulky, but man, you hit the steam, and then you hit the vacuum, because this is a dual, and then you can dispense soap or whatever. Man, it does do some really good job cleaning. So I only threw distilled water in there. So I have distilled water that I buy because I don't want to use the hard water stuff and start, you know, clogging that stuff up. Like, this carpet thing did not come with a setup, and I had to purchase it, and this thing was like 170 bucks. But how expensive it is. And then I have 2 extension cords, because this is the only place that I have the 220 outlet for it. So that's for my welder. That's for this stuff. I believe that's 20 amp and that's 50 amp. But this is where I plug this stuff in. And I mean, I use this stuff throughout the house and in the garage. I think because I use it in the house and in the garage, before it starts getting grimy, I might get a second one of these just for in all the attachments for inside the house. Or actually, I might just get a smaller one, because honestly, this is very cumbersome to take up the stairs. So they do have a smaller setup. And I might just look into consider getting one of those, because just so the wife can have something more portable to use in the house to like steam clean. Got up here just a mat and my little creeper thing that I can roll onto the car. I really love this thing. Second locker here. So I actually just did this today. Well, this I did a couple of weeks ago, but that's some additional fluids and stuff up there. And then right here, additional like fluids and whatever for automotive stuff. And then this is like car cleaning stuff. I'm not gonna say detailing because I'm not a car detailer, but I wash my cars and clean them, so. And then I just did this earlier because I had washed my car, so I just kind of folded some rags and threw it in here. I have way more stuff than this. This is just what's out and about that I've found myself using recently. Really like these brushes. Asta. This is Soft Diff. Assembled in the USA. But, you know, cleaning decals and stuff, or whatever, like window trim or whatever. Really like those. I need to write on them, like mark them if they're gonna be like exterior or interior, just to identify, so I'm not like using the same one inside and outside the car. So I'm probably gonna do that. Mark them with a permanent Sharpie or something. But yeah, I do have some towels and stuff. Let's see. And then here, see, this is a waste of space. This is just because this stuff was laying around. I kind of threw it in here. But yeah, this is probably not gonna last because this is a waste of space. It'd be nice if I could have everything laid out like this, even the smallest stuff, like all these little spray caps that come with bottles and stuff that are unopened, like this right here. But that's definitely not an efficient use of space. But I just threw those in there. The bottom ones are empty. Because I'm just gonna put in stuff as I go, and then I'll figure it out. And then back here, I got these bigger jugs that really couldn't fit in there for whatever reason. So they're just there. And as you can see, the floor is unfinished. So basically, you can see where I kind of stopped. So I I need to clean these grout lines. I was really bad when I started grouting, so I started at that corner. That was the very first one I laid, and it was actually crooked because I stepped back. I was very nervous about doing it, and I stepped back and it was kind of crooked. And you can see where I have a little piece in there. What I should have done was cut this, slide it in, whatever. And you can see my little jagged cut right there. Very first tile I laid. Actually, the very first one is up there, but yeah, you get the idea. So I was very nervous about it. Going back to my point, my grout lines weren't the cleanest. Like grout would, or thin set, not grout. Thin set would like ooze up between them because I wanted to make sure they were fully bat buttered and, you know, no like, you know, empty pockets. Just because of the weight of the garage or the weight of stuff coming in the garage. But yeah, so I gotta clean these grout lines. I mean, I had to clean all of it, so this is not gonna be anything, and I'm a pro at it now, like cleaning all that stuff. And you can see it, so I did mention that crack right there, and then there was two over here that cracked, so you can see one right there. That was from my actual Icon box, the 72. It literally just shattered that edge right there. Actually, that's not the edge. So there's two cracks right here. There's that one, and there's another one over here. So this one kind of cracked off. They broke off as I was moving it, and the next one just kind of it literally just pulverized the edge just from sitting there. But again, I did not remove those. So I have 3 cracked tiles in here, but oh well. If they ever crack, I'll figure out a way to remove them without like damaging the adjacent tiles. But yeah, and then my Mighty Vac, or Metrovac, not Mighty Vac, Metrovac Master Blaster Revolution. My kid loves this. He thinks it's like some kind of cool stuff. If I ask him to turn it on, he'll like go slow, and I'm like, turn him on, give me full power. And then the hose, the only reason it's in here actually is because I use it to inflate their little swimming pool thingy. The problem with that is this produces dry, warm, filtered air, so that thing kind of deflates a lot, but I've since stopped using it and used a regular air pump. So there's that. But this is really good for, you know, drying the car. But I'm gonna mount this stuff to the wall with all the attachments they have in there. I'm doing some drywall work, so I have a sheet of drywall. But yeah, step in the right place. I know, I don't even know where I started this video, but I know where I'm gonna end it, and it's gonna be right here. Anyway, like me always say, like, comment, don't eat anything.